welcome to the very first Refuge Backstage. And so today we have our very own, the great Brandino, otherwise known as Brandon. And I'm not even going to try to pronounce his last name, even though...
I've explained it to you multiple times.
There you go.
It's pronounced Dombrowski.
That.
Dombrowski.
And so what we want to do is we want to give you guys a little bit of insight into what's happening at Refuge and what's happening in the life of the students. And so what better way than having a conversation about what God is doing in the life of one of our students. And so we're just going to start off, Brandon. Can you tell me, just tell us a little bit about yourself?
So first of all, I'm a 5th degree junior black belt at my dojo. I have been training there for 8 years, and that's about it. I got nothing else.
That's all you got.
Yeah.
He only knows karate. He's a ninja.
Basically.
How old are you?
14.
Okay, let's start with that stuff.
Okay.
You're 14, and you do karate. Anything else that you wanted to explain?
The style of karate is Goju Karate Do.
Okay.
Yeah.
There we go. I don't know what that means, what that is, but can you tell us when did you first start coming out to Refuge?
So it was, I believe, June or July or August, somewhere in those 3 months of last year. And it was because my grandmother said, hey, let's just quickly stop by the other church just so you can see how it is. You can start going if you want. I was going to my teacher's seminar that Wednesday so I could, learn more. I just figured I'd stop by, and I noticed someone I immediately recognized because it was Chase's older sister, Isabella.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And I just hung out there for like a couple minutes, then we left. Next Wednesday, I said, hey, can I go back here? Yeah, sure. So I went back and...
Oh, so you asked your grandma if you
could
come back?
I asked because I figured, hey, it'd be something new for me to try, and if I don't like it, I can just say, no, I'm not coming back, and I'm just going back to karate. But obviously that didn't happen, so...
Now, I remember when you came, it was Matt who...
Yeah, it was Matt. He pulled me aside and just kind of explained the Bible and whatnot. I just sat there nodding along because this was before I even knew who Jesus was. I'm just like, yeah, okay. I'm just gonna go here for fun. Not gonna listen, all that sort of stuff. But I'm here now. Clearly, I listened too much.
Too much. But I remember you sitting on the grass with Matt, and then Matt's going through the Bible with you, and he started with like prophecy.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my goodness, what's happening?
But this poor kid.
It worked. You're here still, so
yeah.
So yeah, and so you came in a year ago. You started coming out. You got a taste of it, and you actually asked if you could come back out, which I didn't know that part of the story. I thought your grandma made you.
No, she didn't. She didn't make me come back.
Because if I was being honest with you, when you were sitting on that grass with Matt, it looked so uncomfortable and so awkward. I didn't know what was happening. And I felt bad for you and your sister. No offense, Matt. We love you. But and thank you for reaching out, Matt. But anyway, so you started coming then, and then can you explain like what happened that got you to what we're going to talk about a little bit later in April?
So essentially, I just started going. I'm like, okay, this is pretty nice. I can get behind this, and I started listening more deeply into the messages, and I thought, this sounds pretty nice. I like this. I like feeling the good positive vibes, and then going back home to whatever was happening at home. So I think from August to December was the transitioning phase from non-Christian to starting to become a Christian. So I'm just going to give it back to you.
And so what was happening in that transitioning phase?
To be honest, nothing really interesting. Life just continued on as normal. I was still going to karate. I was sick occasionally. I occasionally would get in trouble. Nothing really interesting. I got in trouble.
So was this life?
Yeah, just normal life. Nothing really bad happening or anything. So
then before we went live, before we started rolling, you were explaining. I asked you that question. So when did you give your life to Jesus? And you answered
April 6th.
April 6th. April 6th was the day. And what happened? And what was the transformation? Because you said there was up until December that things were kind of transforming in your life. You went from being this person who came out and just kind of was there hanging out, because who doesn't want to hang out with Matt Salinari and me, right?
Yeah.
and to becoming where God was doing something. And then in April, you gave your life to Jesus. So, what led to that moment? Was it just?
So it all really kind of went downhill in March because I found myself not slowly, it was spiraling down more and more into sin. I found myself constantly sinning. My mouth was horrible. I'm going to be fully honest at home. I I knew how to keep a filter, but it was a maybe. Just constant sin, and it was not fun. I'm looking back on it now, and I'm like, how did you live like that? How? And April, it really kind of reached a peak where I thought, I wonder if I'll feel better by taking a knife to my own skin.
Wow.
And that no, it did not. It made it worse. So, and then April 6th came along. I'm like, this is when it's gonna happen. I'm gonna stop. This needs to stop, and it did.
And it stopped
When I let everything out to Christ. I just said, take it away. I don't want it anymore.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I'm done with this sin. I don't want it. I heard the message enough times that I said, you know what? Let's let it sit there for a while. Let's let it root in. Let's let it keep going. See what happens. Instead of plucking the seed out myself, let's let it sit there.
And so, do you remember the message by any chance? Because I don't know.
I don't remember the message.
I was wondering if it must have been really good, I guess.
No, I don't remember the message.
Oh, it wasn't good?
No, it's not that the messages weren't good. It's just...
No, I'm just joking. Yeah, memorable. But so you said that you're leading up, you were going through this time of, what was the emotional state? Because you said there was a lot of sin, and then you wanted to take a knife.
Depression, anxiety, just all bad emotions, just like constant depression, constant anxiety, constant fear of what was going to happen.
What happened after you gave your life? What happened with those feelings?
The feelings went away, but I would just watch around the world, or not around the world, around my family, as my family just kind of fell apart on itself.
Yeah.
And I just like sat there in awe, like, what happened? What changed? And so I just kept going. I'm just like, no, I'm not going to let this stop me. I'm going to keep going. Wow. Why would I let this stop me? It's not affecting me. It's definitely not going to affect Christ. I'm just going to keep going. And so more and more I started coming back. I came back here. I came back to Refuge. I kept going.
No, you keep going. That summer you went out with us and you went soul winning, right?
Yes. And I actually won a couple souls. I won 4 total so far.
Really?
Yeah.
There you go. From April to now, you brought 4 people to Jesus. And that same thing that you encountered, they get to encounter now because God did such an amazing work in your life. And so, but that ain't the end of the story, right?
No, it's not the end of the story.
No, thank goodness. So in April, you give your life to Jesus. And so what has the journey been like after that?
Well, it's not been all sunshine and rainbows. I'm going to tell you that much. Jesus says there will be trouble. As per every message, you say there will always be trouble towards the end, I believe. And there definitely has been trouble. So, like with the family, my mom and dad are separated, but they're not. They're married still because of custody reasons, but they're separated, as in sleeping in different bedrooms, using different bathrooms and whatnot. So, and I've just kind of like stepped back and looked, and I saw, metaphorically, my mom on one side and the entire family on the other side, and I'm just standing here in the middle, like, what is going on? And I'm on my own side. I'm not with my mom or with my other family. I'm just on my own side with Christ. And I know if I'm with Christ, I don't need to be on another side. Christ is on my side. I don't need to be on the side that's winning or losing.
Yeah. And so you said that verse that in this world you will have trouble, but there's a second part of the verse, right? And that's,
but take heart.
Yeah.
All who are weary-hearted and tired, come to me. I will give you rest and peace. And he has done exactly that.
Oh, wow. So you actually combined the 2 verses, just so you know. You know more of the Bible than you thought. But yeah, right. Take heart. You said that. Take heart. And you can go to Jesus with your weariness and with your burden. And you've experienced that?
Yes, I have.
Yeah. So now tell us, because some exciting things have been happening in your life. And I remember we were driving in a car down to a Bible college to visit North Point Bible College in Haverhill, Massachusetts, and you said some things about what God might be calling you to do. Can you share that?
So pastoral services, ministry, youth ministry, if I'm going to be specific, since I feel like I did a really good job.
Don't toot your own horn.
Yeah, I'm trying not to. No, it felt amazing being there. It felt like everyone was just happy. Everyone was at peace. It wasn't like at home where it's like, okay, we're at peace, but we're not really at peace because everyone's got something going on in their minds. It's like, no, everyone's at peace here because everyone's got Christ. And I think because that experience changed a lot in my heart.
You're talking about the going to the college?
Yep, and coming back from that, because even after I accepted Christ, I'm going to be honest, I was like one of those churchianity people. I'd go to church every Sunday, every Wednesday, I'd say the prayer, I'd leave, and just continue on with my life. But after the Bible college, I changed it. I said, no, I'm not a part of churchianity anymore. I'm part of Christianity. I'm going to change what I do to reflect on Christ because I'm setting the example for Christ. He's not here right now. He'll be back. I'm the one who's setting the example. I'm not leading by example, but
you're reflecting him.
Yes.
Yeah, that's good. You're being a light. And so when we were at North Point, can you explain just exactly what happened? Did you encounter God there? Is that what really clicked? Because I saw you run up on the stage like a madman and start dancing.
I'm not entirely sure I was dancing.
I have pictures and I have videos.
Oh boy!
So you might not know, but maybe we'll load it up so people can see.
That's gonna be a little.
But explain what. Can you explain like that moment? Really get into detail, like what was going on in your life, what was going on in your spirit, what was God speaking to you?
So before then, before the Bible college, like a couple days, like the day of, I did not sleep. At all. I was in bed at 6:30 in the morning, and I woke up at like 10:30, 11 o'clock. So I didn't get much sleep that night. But
in all fairness, I had asked you about going the night before we left,
pretty much.
So you didn't have any time to prepare.
No. It was, I'm going to be honest, I was still in churchianity at that point. Before the Bible college, I was still a part of churchianity. And then day one of the Bible college, when we got there and we went to the service, I thought, this is amazing. I want to come back here. This is what I want to do. And then on the night back, everything just kind of set into place. It's like, this is where my heart is supposed to be. It feels right. It feels as if everything's at peace. Nothing can disturb the peace that I have. Yeah.
So there's a thing that happens when we get in tune with the will of God, is that we don't strive and we don't fight, and there's no friction, because we experience the peace of God that comes from the will of God. And you're kind of describing that in your life, because on the way down, I was asking, so Brandon, what do you want to do with your life? And you said, well, pastoring is something that God, you even said this, God has you feel God calling you to, but you also, as you know, you love karate, so you wanted to do karate still.
Yeah.
So he's going to be a pastor who kicks butts. Don't mess with him. But when we were down there and on the way back, like there was as someone being from the outside, you could see a change. But then a few weeks later, this is a sign of a change, is you came up to me, and what did you ask if you could do?
I asked if I could preach the gospel to the people at Refuge.
Yeah, so God speaks to you at the college, you feel like God's calling you to do ministry, and then all of a sudden, you've already done soul winning, but now you come back and you said, God's calling me to preach the gospel, and you came up to me kind of on the spot, right before I was going to go up and preach. You said, can I preach tonight?
Well, it wasn't,
and I could have let you.
Yeah.
But we waited, and then this past Wednesday, what'd you do?
I preached the 10 Commandments.
Yeah, you preached the 10 Commandments, and you started off by saying everybody has a God in their life. Whether you want to admit it or not, everybody has a God, and who are you serving?
You can't serve two masters at once. You have to choose one. You have to love one and hate the other, or hate one and love the other.
Yeah, and then you came back around with your message, and you said at the end that why would Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego bow to a God they didn't know? And you said that you're staking your life on Jesus, and that He has good things for you.
Very good things.
Very good things. And yeah, that's it. I remember you saying that because I actually wrote that down. You said he has, I think you said hope, life, and peace. Now you said you listed those three things. Have you experienced those things since April 6th?
Yes.
You've experienced those
very
things?
much.
Very much so. Very much so, huh? Oh, that's awesome. And
there's a spiritual life that comes with accepting Christ. There's renewance, like being born again.
Mm-hmm.
What came out from what was taken from me was depression, anxiety, and all that. It was replaced with peace, joy, love. It replaced it. And I felt whole once I got that.
That's awesome.
Wow. So before then, I'm going to be honest, I felt like empty, nothing. Now that that's been replaced by the things of God, I feel much better.
Yeah.
I feel much more in tune with how He feels about the world. And it deeply upsets me that the world is going in such a direction. But I'm just doing what I can to keep it from going further.
Yeah, being a light. And so, just another quick question: Can you kind of tell everybody who's watching, the one person in the sanctuary with us,
yes,
what God is doing at Refuge?
He's changing people. Things are happening. People are changing. I noticed it while I was up there preaching. People were just very keen to listen to what I had to say. And I don't know if it was just because they were told to listen, or if it was that I was actually touching their hearts and saying, "Hey,
listen." Just as someone who preaches regularly, I don't think anybody ever listens when you tell them to listen.
Yeah,
that's just. Anyways, keep going. Sorry.
I feel like I was tugging on the heartstrings and saying, "This. If you're listening and your heart is open, this will deeply touch your heart. It will make you, not make you. It's the words. You will feel convicted by it because you know it's wrong. You've been told this many times. And at this point, this should be the final thing that says, no, I'm going to turn my life around."
Yeah.
So I don't know if that happened or not, but I could see it on people's faces that they were all like at the edge of their seats listening.
I can be honest with you. I don't think I've ever heard in a sermon someone say, "Don't kill for fun." Pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah, most of it was self-explanatory.
But I jotted that note down too from your message. Don't kill for fun. But you were saying that God's changing people's lives at Refuge, and that's the whole purpose, right? That's why we're doing what we're doing. That's why we every Wednesday night we say that God loves you and God has a wonderful plan for your life, and it's different than what the world has. And your testimony is an example of that. It explains that. I didn't know your testimony actually until you just shared it. So I'm kind of taken back by some of, like, not taken back, but just kind of processing.
Yeah.
What you were saying, and but with what God's doing with how He's transforming lives, I just want to give you the opportunity. What you're making a commitment next week, right?
Yep. I'm officially being reborn. Everything that was old is now gone, deleted, and I'm now a new creation in Christ.
And so next week, what are you doing?
Getting baptized.
You're getting baptized. Yes, exactly. Yeah, and not only you. Do you know how many people are getting baptized with you?
There should be, if everyone who raised their hand is going to be there, about like 6 or 7.
There's 7 students. Yeah, that are going to walk into the waters of baptism just like you, and they're going to go from death to life. Right, that symbolic act. And so any final words you have?
No.
No, nothing?
Nothing. No final words. Just keep studying the Word of God, because the world will try and sway you in their ways. And all you have to do is just lean on Christ and He'll pull you back.
Do you have a verse or anything that you like? Thought I would ask.
I don't have a specific verse in mind, but just all of the verses.
The whole Bible.
The whole Bible is amazing.
Okay, the whole Bible is amazing. There you go. Take it from Brandon, who knows Kung Fu, and he's like an 8th degree black belt, karate, I should say. The whole Bible is amazing. You have it on His Word. All right, that's good stuff. And so any parting words, any words of wisdom you got? You said follow Jesus.
Just keep going for him. He loves the chase. He loves the pursuit. Keep going. Because once you run into his arms, you'll never feel the same again.
Amen. That's a good word. So there you go. I'm Pastor Jason, which I didn't introduce myself at the beginning, and this is Brandon, last name?
Dombrowski.
There you go. And he's just one example of what God is doing at Refuge, transforming lives. That there's a generation out there who have not bowed to Baal, right?
No.
And who are standing strong and who are a light to this generation. And God is going to do amazing things for you, right? You said you were called, and we believe that.
Yes.
And so we're going to help you in your calling every step of the way. So we look forward to seeing what God does in your life. God bless you, my friend.
God bless you.
Hey, Pastor Jason here. Thank you for joining us with Refuge Backstage. We hope that testimony blessed you, and there's many more to come down the line. We just wanted to give you a taste of what God is doing Wednesday nights at 70 Laurel Street. And if you are between the ages of 11 or 18, or another way of thinking about it is if you're in middle school or high school, we'd love for you to come and join us. Every Wednesday night, we have food, we have games, and God shows up in a powerful way. And so if you are between those ages or in high school and middle school, come out and join us. We'd love to see you.